Hey everybody, what's up? Now you may be used to me doing reviews for the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book and Sonic Universe and whatever. But this is going to be a first because this is a very special comic book review. That's right. It's a very special comic book review because this is a review of the first ever issue of Boom Studios Disney collaboration known as Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers #1. That's right. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers #1. It's the very first issue in what is known as an 8-issue series so far as we know. And the reason it's an 8-issue series is because apparently we won't know if there's going to be any more after that. But this is known as this is basically known as a part of the Disney Afternoon Revolution, or the revitalization of the Disney Afternoon. First we had Uncle Scrooge and the DuckTales comics. Then we had Darkwing Duck. Now we have Rescue Rangers. Who's to know what's going to come afterwards? Maybe Tailspin, Gummy Bears, Wuzzles. Well, maybe not Wuzzles. Goof Troop, Bonkers. Who knows? But anyway, let's get into this review, shall we? This is my review of issue #1 of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers comic by Boom Studios. Now, I don't have the issue physically on me, but I will in very, very soon. I will. I've ordered it. It's on its way. This is from a CBR file, which I converted into a RAW file that some people who already got the comic put online. So, this is my review. Now, first of all, let's start. Oops, wrong one. There we go. There's the cover, or one of the covers, for issue #1. This is one of the covers. Now, we go forward, and here's another cover. There's actually 4 covers, believe it or not, for this issue, for this first issue. The other 2 are around the $10 range, I believe. This one and the first one I showed you are more of the $4 range. But anyway, these are issues. Here's the introduction to the characters. We already know who the characters are. Oh, and by the way, I'm reading this off my iPod. I actually synced it and transferred it to my iPod. Now, basically what we do is we start out with a little flashback of Gadget being taught how to ride a bike by her father. If we can zoom in on this a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. She's being taught how to ride a bike by her father, Gigor. Because he's riding a bike along with her. Now, basically what happens here is Gigor ends up falling. He's not looking, and what happens is he falls off this little ledge into a river. Or I guess into a bank or something like that. Now, he tells Gadget to go get help, but instead what Gadget does is she drives her bike, drives her bike into the water to rescue her dad, and I guess starts building something out of the bike, which amazes her father. Which, like I said, amazes her father about what she does. So anyway, they make it to dry land. You know, Gigor wants to know how she knew how to do that. She says she doesn't know, but she just did it because of him. And Gigor goes on to say that there's something special in his daughter, something that's buried back in her mind, and that he's got a feeling that's gonna take her to wondrous places, or fantastic places, if you will. That's what he says. Now, if we got to tune this over on its side. There we go. But he says it's going to take her to fantastic places. And the story is known as Worldwide Rescue Part 1. And yes, that is Foxglove up there flying alongside the Rangers. We don't know if she's going to be part of the team, but it looks like she may be. But basically what we have here is the Rangers are looking for a Pacific Key that Monterey had hidden years ago. Now we don't know why he hid the key here or not, but he's hidden this special key and they got to look for it. So they go down a sewer. Now this key Monterey is talking about is something that Gadget's dad had given him. And basically the reason they are looking for this key is because I guess throughout the day or something like that, all the animals, believe it or not, have been going crazy. They had basically been going nuts, if you will. Like spiders here, going nuts and stuff like that. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know if you can see it. Spiders going nuts. Stuff like that. So they're looking for this key. Now, Chip pulls out a map to the sewers of which they're in, but Monterey says, hey, I know my way around these sewers, we don't need a map. So anyway, they're basically going through the sewer. And Monterey mentioned something about Gadget mentioned something about the currents being pretty strong here, and Monterey kind of mentioned something that it's all right. It's not like she hasn't dealt with this before. And Gadget right here says she knows. And of course, they end up falling down a waterfall, and Dale's like, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home." In which we get a flashback to Ranger headquarters where Zipper is telling everybody about what's going on, about what happened with the spiders, and then they start seeing news reports of all the animals, from bats, which gives you an indication who will show up soon, to polar bears, to crabs, all acting strangely and attacking people in villages and towns and all that. And Monterey freaks out because he has seen or heard about this before. Now Chip thinks Monterey has joined all the other animals by going crazy, but Gadget assures him, I don't think he's done that. I think he's just scared. Basically, Gadget said he looks scared than crazy, and that he's probably looking for someplace safe. So he goes into this cheese store, and basically by going in, he chases all the humans out, and the other Rangers, and just find him there. The other Rangers find him there. So Chip points out to Monterey that he obviously knows what's going on, and he wants some answers. And after that, we get flashback to the present, where we see the Rangers kind of knocked out, or having the air knocked out of them by falling down that waterfall. And then after that, we get flashback to the flashback in which Monterey flashes back to another flashback in which he tells everybody what is really going on. When he goes on to tell them that this whole situation with the animals has to deal with something this whole situation with the animals goes back to a group called the ARS. That's right, the ARS. And he goes on to say that Gadget's father, Gigor, was part of the most important and most secret scientific discovery of their times. The Animal Rescue Signal, the ARS. Sound familiar, right? Sounds like Rescue Aid Society? Anyway, he goes on to explain that the intention of the ARS, the Animal Rescue, God, I can't remember now. The Animal Rescue Signal, the intention for it was that whenever an animal got attacked by humans or mistreated, that the ARS would send a frequency, a signal, if you will, that would give the animals enough strength and power to save themselves, as long as they didn't mind a red glow. But even though that was what it was intended for, Gadget's father soon had regrets about the whole project. Because he envisioned, if not, I guess you could say, prophesized a time when a scientist of the ARS would be intimidated and manipulated into letting the Animal Rescue Signal fall into the wrong hands. Now he goes on to say that destroying the machine would have made Gigor a pariah, so they decided that it was better to lock it away and have people forget about it. And thus he ended up giving the key to Monterey for protection or to hide. But then, but the fact that they just, didn't hide it, all in one place, that they hid it in 4 different places around the globe. And that he and Gigor thought that would stop anybody from getting inside. But obviously now someone has, and believe it or not, that someone is Fat Cat and his gang. And Fat Cat is thrilled, because now he has the greatest bargaining chip of all, the whole world. And, Monterey kind of regrets that if his first and most important adventure could be reversed on him, what good is he now? Basically he's telling everybody, if hiding the key to the ARS, could be reversed on him by having somebody get in there even without the key, then what good is he? And Gadget goes on to tell him that that's not true. He's very valuable to the Rangers as he was to her dad. And that as the Rangers, they depend on each other to make the world a better place. So anyway, they end up finding the last key. Where it's at. They end up finding the first piece of the super key, as it's called. But then after finding it, it kind of dawns on Monterey that whoever got into the ARS didn't use the key. And that all they have to do is hunt for the rest of the parts and get inside themselves. Now, even though they don't know how how Fat Cat's gang got in there, they might be able to figure out. Basically they'll be able to find out that it's Fat Cat's gang now, and basically how they were able to do it as they complete the key. And I will be back with part 2 of my review.